32 million.
Don't shoot a cop!
We're just doing a transfer in the back.
Danny, everybody knows how dangerous you are.
The story immediately plunges us into the life of Will, a decorated former Marine who served his country in Afghanistan. But since leaving the armed forces, his financial life has become a complete disaster, leaving him completely dependent on others for survival. His world shatters when he learns his wife, Amy, is battling a rare, aggressive cancer. The only hope is an experimental treatment that carries a crushing price tag, at least $231,000. Will is consumed by worry, knowing he could never earn that kind of money. Driven by a desperate need to save the woman he loves, he tries begging everywhere for help, but every door is slammed in his face. The ultimate betrayal comes from the hospital itself. As soon as they realize Will has no money, they stop taking his frantic calls. Heartbroken but resolute, Will lies to Amy, promising he will fix everything and secure her treatment. He then leaves the house and drives straight to the one person he knows is dangerous, his stepbrother, Danny. We meet Danny, a professional criminal and notorious thief, who is himself a former member of the Special Forces. Danny now maintains a facade as a bodyguard and handles the legal work and luxury cars for the biggest attorney in the city. Will pours out his soul, explaining that without Danny's help, he will lose his wife, a life-or-death situation no one is willing to fund.
Yes, I'm here because I need help.
Danny, echoing a sentiment of deep betrayal, rants, "This is how the government treats us. We risk our lives for our country, but the moment we walk away, they treat us like insects. They don't care if we live or die." Just as they are talking, Danny's heavily armed crew arrives, preparing their weapons. Will immediately asks what madness they are planning. Danny drops the bombshell, "I'm robbing the biggest bank of my life today, and you are coming with me. It's the only way you save your wife." Will initially refuses to participate in a crime. Danny calms him, appealing to his desperation, "You don't have to do anything but drive the getaway car. We do the rest, and I promise your name and face will never be seen." Desperate for his wife, Will finally agrees. Disguised in employee uniforms, the crew storms the bank and begins taking hostages. Just then, a police car pulls up outside with two unsuspecting officers inside. One of them, Officer Zach, tries to enter the bank on an errand. Finding the door locked, he rings the bell again and again. Danny goes to answer, offering flimsy excuses for the closure. Sensing the officer's growing suspicion,
It's not to rob the place. I promise.
Okay, all right, come on.
Danny reluctantly allows him inside. By now, all customers are hidden, and the gang is ready to kill anyone who interferes with their escape. Officer Zach steps inside, but his suspicions skyrocket when he starts chatting up a female teller. He asks Danny for the teller's name, challenging Danny's claim to be the manager. Danny gives him a fake name, but the moment Zach sees the real name badge, he instantly realizes they are thieves. Zach moves to draw his gun, but Danny is lightning fast, putting a pistol to Zach's head, immediately turning the cop into a hostage. They force the manager to open the main vault, which contains a staggering $32 million in cash, along with gold, silver, and diamonds. The crew begins stuffing the loot into bags and contacts their pickup vehicle. However, the getaway truck arrives, but then breaks down right outside the bank. Zach's partner, Mark, approaches the stalled truck. As he talks to the driver, Danny's partner inside the bank starts screaming at the driver, which Mark overhears. Mark instantly realizes they are witnessing a bank robbery and draws his weapon, but the truck driver deliberately rams his vehicle forward, knocking Mark down. Bullets immediately start flying everywhere. Hearing the chaos, a swarm of police descend on the bank. Realizing the front is impossible, Danny plans an escape through the back door. News of the mass injuries spreads rapidly. A paramedic named Cam gets the emergency call and rushes her ambulance to the scene. Outside, the situation is a war zone. Special forces and police are everywhere, firing relentlessly at the getaway truck and killing the driver to block the road. Helicopters circle, watching every exit. The SWAT team moves in, searching the bank. Meanwhile, the robbers have fled to the parking lot. Mark finds Zach, his partner, barely clinging to life. He immediately calls for the ambulance. SWAT spots Will and Danny. They start firing wildly, and the gunfire lasts for what feels like an eternity. Cam reaches the critically wounded Zach, loads him into the ambulance, and begins emergency treatment. Just as the ambulance attempts to leave, Danny appears in front of it with a gun. He yanks the original ambulance driver out, Will jumps into the driver's seat, and Danny gets into the back, placing his gun squarely on Cam. "Don't try to be clever," Danny snarls. "One trick and I'll blow your head off." Will speeds the ambulance out, but the SWAT team immediately corners them. Danny hides, leaving only Cam and the dying Zach visible. Cam immediately begins yelling at the SWAT officers, stressing the gravity of the policeman's injuries. "You are wasting time. Let us go." The desperate plea works. The SWAT team stands down and lets the ambulance drive away. Danny is so impressed he actually apologizes to Cam. "I was rude. Forgive me. It won't happen again. You just saved our lives." Will, showing his tactical expertise, drives the high-powered ambulance through back alleys, not the highway, knowing the helicopters are watching. Cam sees an opportunity, grabs a fire extinguisher, and unleashes a cloud of smoke. As they are distracted, she runs out. Danny rushes out after her, gun drawn. "Come back, or I will shoot you." Will finds out that Zach is having a heart attack and is critically unstable. They call out the emergency to Cam, who immediately returns. On the outside, Mark finds the dumped ambulance driver and realizes the robbers escaped in the ambulance. He alerts the police, who use the ambulance's tracker to find their location. Helicopters and patrol cars swarm the city. The entire case is handed over to Captain Monroe. Monroe learns the ambulance has an advanced, fast engine. A huge police pursuit catches up, but Will, proving his exceptional driving skill, performs a tricky maneuver that causes multiple police cars to crash, leaving them far behind. Inside, Zach's condition worsens, requiring immediate CPR. Cam, needing help, asks Danny, who reluctantly assists in the life-saving CPR. Will's fast driving makes the medical work difficult. Will hits a dead end and is forced to stop. The pursuing police cars crash into the water. Danny and Will perform the final CPR, reverse the ambulance, and race toward the city. Realizing they can't just outrun the police, Danny calls Poppy, the city's most powerful mafia boss. Danny offers a deal. Poppy must help them escape, and in return, Danny will pay him $16 million of the $32 million haul. Poppy agrees, only needing a distraction to buy them time. Danny then calls a friend for the fastest getaway car. The police remain right on their tail, frustrating Danny. Danny becomes convinced the injured cop is the reason, pulls his gun, and moves to kill Zach. Cam desperately tries to stop him. As the police close in, Danny throws Cam out of the ambulance, puts a gun to her head, and threatens the police. "Leave us alone, or I blow her head off." The police freeze, giving them time to escape. All roads are now blocked by police from 2 separate states. Officer Clark arrives, informing Captain Monroe that Danny is not an easy target. Danny is a cunning thief, stealing since he was 17, his father was a thief, and Danny is also a great sniper. Clark reveals the terrifying truth. Danny was his batchmate in the FBI, joining only for the training to learn police tactics, which he then used to become an even more dangerous criminal, robbing 38 banks. Cam tells Danny that Zach's condition is dire and he will die without immediate surgery, which she can't perform alone. She calls her senior doctors for a video-guided operation, under the intense threat that Danny will kill her if they don't help. Will hears this and rushes back to help. "I can help you. I'm a war veteran and trained for this." Danny takes the wheel, and the operation begins. Mistakes are made, and Will has to strike Zach on the head to knock him out when he wakes up. When Zach's bleeding won't stop, the doctors believe he is dead. Cam's laptop battery dies, confirming the silence. The police are informed that the officer is dead. Monroe, enraged, orders the sniper team to kill them all on sight. Cam manages to contact a police officer's number. Clark tells her to hide as the snipers are about to fire. Cam frantically tells them, "Zach is still alive. We saved him." Clark frantically tries to stop his team, but the snipers fire, though the advanced armor of the ambulance protects Will and Danny. Monroe finally stops the shooting. Danny is furious. "You tried to kill the cop we saved. You want him dead and us too." Danny, convinced Cam is signaling the police, fires his gun wildly, trying to scare her without killing her. Will tries to stop him, and the brothers start fighting. Cam messages Clark, informing him they are both mad, and reveals Will's involvement. Clark pulls Will's records and calls him, appealing to his status as a war veteran and warning him of a 30-year jail sentence. Will ignores him. Clark tells Cam that Will is the weak link, and to exploit him. Cam approaches Will as he is speaking to Amy and their son on a video call. Will breaks, admitting the whole crime was to pay for Amy's cancer treatment. Poppy's men set off massive explosions as a distraction. Danny uses this to his advantage, driving a little further, getting out, and firing at the helicopters until they retreat. They reach Poppy's location, where 3 identical ambulances are waiting to confuse the police. The ambulances scatter, using train drivers who blow up police cars as they approach. The city is thrown into chaos. Poppy's son, driving one of the ambulances, jumps out right before the vehicle crashes into police cars in a huge blast. A car with an automatic machine gun opens fire, injuring many officers, including Captain Monroe. Mark catches Poppy's son, they fight, and Mark accidentally shoots Poppy's son dead. Danny's ambulance reaches Poppy's hideout. Danny gives the grieving Poppy half the money and ends the deal. But Poppy's man informs him there is a cop in the van. Enraged by his son's death at the hands of the police, Poppy demands the cop and the nurse be left behind for revenge. Will refuses to abandon them. Danny, seeing Will's resolve, sides with his brother and executes a devastating attack, killing Poppy and all his men. As the remaining men return fire, Will rushes to the ambulance. In the chaos, Cam accidentally shoots Will. Realizing the mistake, she shoves the injured Will into the back, and Danny drives the ambulance toward the hospital, with the police in hot pursuit. Danny, consumed by the need to save his brother, ignores escape and drives straight to the hospital. The police immediately surround the building. Danny sees Zach's gun and falsely assumes Zach shot Will. He moves to kill Zach, but Cam lies, "I shot him." Danny, boiling with rage, drags Cam out to kill her publicly in front of the media. But before he can fire, Will shoots Danny. Will saved Cam and stopped Danny from killing anyone else. Danny collapses and dies. Will stumbles out and collapses. Amy, Will's wife, runs up, screaming for help. Cam immediately rushes Will inside for treatment. Cam notices the cash Will gave her. She quietly tucks it into the baby box in Amy's arms, ensuring Amy has the money for her treatment. Will receives a reduced sentence after Clark and others testify that he saved Zach's life and cooperated. But Will is left with the lifetime of pain. He killed the brother who loved him and was willing to die for him. And with that heartbreaking sacrifice, the film ends here. That's the story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Cinemaned for more thrillers.